Record. So we're recording. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Rob's Funk and Junk podcast number 22. I am trying something different today because I've started to put these podcasts up on my YouTube channel. So if you'd like to look at them on my YouTube channel, you can listen to them all up there. But I thought I'd try and get amongst the video business. I'm currently just using the camera off my computer. But yeah, and how are you all out there? What's been happening? How's life? What's been going on? Are you? The sun's outside, even though I'm sat in a dark room with a light. I've got a light and everything. There's no expense spent on this production that you're seeing. So yeah, how's things? What's been going on? I hope you're all well out there and life is going good. The sun, well, especially over this side of the globe, the sun's out, or it's starting to come out. The flowers are growing in the garden, which is very nice to see. And yeah, it's slightly less muddy. Oh yeah, and I've got a beard going on. What do you reckon? What do you reckon? Hide my face a bit more. I've never had an actual beard before, so it's my first beard. You can't see this if you're listening through your normal podcast behavioury stuff, but yeah, I thought I'd grow a beard and hide a bit more of my face. And actually, I can't stop playing with it. It's quite nice. It's quite relaxing. Listen. Anyway, yeah. So I hope you're all good out there. What's been going on? What's happening with me? I hope you enjoyed the episode last week with Paul Turner, the fabulous PT on bass. He's a dude. I love him dearly. He's a close friend of mine. Obviously, we've known each other quite a long time, spent a lot of time together. But yeah, he's a diamond and an amazing musician. And I'm so lucky to have the opportunity to play with him. He's a dude. We launched our Boom and Twang course, which is the residential course that we're running here in the UK, and that's been going great. Actually, it's there's been a load of interest in that. So yeah, get in touch if anyone's interested in the residential Boom and Twang guitar and bass course in the UK, which it runs from the 12th of November. Runs from the 10th of November through to the 12th of November. So get in touch, drop me a line on robsfunkandjunk at gmail.com if you're interested, and I'll send you over an information pack. What else has been happening? Yeah, we had a great little Trioniq gig last week, which was really good. I want to thank anyone who came out to that to support us. We loved it. Yeah, it was really nice to play out. It's been quite hard. I think it's been quite hard getting this off the ground, this project. But I think we realised that there's some people that are interested in it and quite like it out there. So yeah, it's just one of those things. But it was really nice. But we did the Pizza Express in Soho. We've got another gig. I think it's the 27th of July in. I've just been joined by Kenny here. If you can see Kenny. See his massive head? Look, there he is. Hey, Kenny boy. You're right, gorgeous boy. You're going to lay in the bed back there. You're going to lay down. Hey. He's a good lad. Sorry about that. We've got another gig at the Jam House in Birmingham, which I think is let me just check. Hang on. Let me just check this. Trioniq, the Jam House. Sorry about this. Jam House, 20th of July. So if anyone wants to come out and see us at the Jam House in Birmingham, it's an amazing venue actually. Thursday the 20th of July. Tickets are, I think there's an early bird ticket special. I think they're about £8. £8 if you get in now, I think. So yeah, come out and see us and hear some funky music. We're being joined by Sean Williams on vocals, and the amazing Ryan Aston on drums, and it's great. So come out and join us. I had a fucking nightmare on the gig though the other day. I have to tell you about this. So the day before we had a rehearsal. This is a massive. I'm going to start putting a massive post-it notes everywhere around the house. I think my brain is starting to addle slightly. But we had a massive rehearsal. Not massive rehearsal. We had a rehearsal the day before, and Ryan came and stayed over. Ray cooked us an amazing dinner, and we obviously sank a bottle of wine, and then had a few little glasses of whiskey the night before, and then the next day we're getting ready to leave to go down to the gig to get into London, and I packed everything up, ready to go. I had to do some things with my Quad Cortex because I'd had a few issues with it the day before. So I packed everything up, put the Quad Cortex and the spare Quad Cortex in the backup, packed my guitars, my cabs in the car, dropped my gear, fought the London traffic and paid the extortionate amount you have to pay to get into London nowadays. Packed the car up, went to park the car up somewhere safe, and then got back to the venue ready for the sound check, and got all the gear out and realised I'd left both power supplies for both of my Quad Cortexes at home here in Cambridgeshire. Now, I did have a slight panic. Everyone's setting up and getting ready, and this was very stressful for me because we still needed to run a few things in soundcheck, and so I went. Luckily, well, not luckily. I thought I was lucky that I was right near Denmark Street, which is for those who don't know, Denmark Street is a famous sort of spot in London where there's lots of music shops around, and not one shop had anything that could power the Quad Cortex. So I was kind of stuffed. Luckily, Ray, my wife, was coming down to the show that night, but she was really unwell, and I think she didn't really want to come. But she managed to come and pack them, get them out of my studio, and take them down to the gig. But literally, I got them about 15 minutes before we went on stage. And of course, my brain was just not in it. I couldn't. It took me about 7 songs for my brain to just the shaking to stop. And it's just one of those things. It's something I need to make note of and try not to let it happen again. My own fault. But fuck me, I was very stressed out. But yeah, But the gig ended up being really good, and people seemed to really enjoy it. And talking about the Quad Cortex, I have had an email. I think it was a message through, might have been through my Instagram account, or an email through to Funk and Junk. But it was someone asking me about my setup on the Quad Cortex. So I can show you. I'm just going to literally play the sounds. That's why I've got my guitar here in front of me. So I have a patch here. This is called Rob's Trioniq rig, but it's basically just a rig that I just use on most gigs. So when I'm sort of playing around town nowadays, I do this gig regularly at a place called Langan's, which is I think it's Michael Caine's restaurant. It's in Mayfair, and I sort of get together probably twice a month there and do sort of a little set upstairs in the cocktail bar up there, which is great fun. I love it. It's brilliant. But because it's a no amp gig, they don't want it ever so loud. I just take the Quad Cortex and I go through the monitors, and it then gets spread around. And it's just a 4-piece bass guitar, and Bob Knight, the amazing Bob Knight, playing like a weird cajon kit. So it's like a drum kit, but it's based around a cajon. And then we have various singers. So I take the Quad Cortex, but I'm just going to talk you through quickly the sounds that I use and what they are. So I have my Quad Cortex plugged in. I've got my very, very smudged black DGT, as you can see there, and you can see the old light. That's proof that I've got a light in front of me, a little circle light. I know that's probably not cool in podcast land, but you know, that's what I'm doing. So this is my basic clean sound. Let me just tune up. Wait a second. Please excuse me. Talk amongst yourselves. These strings need changing. That's what I would say. I don't think the tuner on the Quad Cortex is amazing. So this is my basic clean sound, right? It's got a little bit of fuzz on it, a little bit of grit, and that is that's a capture of my divided by 13 FTR 37. So yeah, that's a sound I use quite a lot. Middle position on the DGT with the coil tap in. It's that's the G. Obviously, you know, there's always a problem with G strings on guitars. But yeah, that's my basic clean sound, and what that is the FTR. So the bottom row of my switches is set up to be the first three, the E, F, and G foot switches on the Quad Cortex. If you know it, they are all my divided by 13 clean set with just a little bit of fur on it. So if I put the coil tap in, and I also have here, so the amp is there, and then I have on everything I've got a little bit of ambience, just a tiny bit, which you can't even hear really. This is with it on, this is with it off. Wait a minute. It's just to give a little bit of sound. So that's what it, if I boost it, just to give a little bit of distance between the what the speaker would be and the actual room, which I find actually helps me when I'm using in-ears. That's what I use it for. Let me just back up my microphone gain here. I'm recording on two different things. I'm recording using my Luna thing for the guitar and for the vocal mic, and then I'm using this piece of software called Riverside FM for the podcast, because I'm just trying it out actually so when I have some guests on, rather than using Zoom, because Zoom's a bit shit for podcasts. So anyway, that's my basic. If I'm doing a gig and I'm so they say, oh, we're doing rock with you, it's that's what I use. Oh, there is a smidgen of they call it the legendary 87, which I'm assuming is, I don't know, yeah, but just the way it's set up in the Quad Cortex, I'm assuming it's their version of a 1176. I don't know why I think that, but it's just because they've got the ratio, which is the same, the attack and release and the makeup. It kind of feels like an 1176 to me. I have one sat right here, so I kind of know what it sounds like, and it's literally just taking. Well, it's taken off about 5 dB gain reduction, but then the mix is only on about 45%, so most of it is the dry signal. So that's my basic clean sound, and then on the top row I have the A, B, C, D switches. I'm using it like I've got stomp boxes. So on A I have a phaser. quite nice. I mean, that's probably quite... I just bunged this on the other day for the gig. Because it's a 3-piece thing, drums, bass and guitar and vocals, I kind of just used the effects probably a little bit less subtly than I would if I was playing with a keyboard player. Which is quite nice. Foot switch B is... the fugue, which is like a filter. Quite cool. Then I have a tremolo. Which is nice. And then I have a spring reverb on foot switch D. It's quite nice, and it's going to sound more through here than it does on the gig, because obviously the room sucks it up some of that, so you're hearing it direct. I'm just recording straight into my thingamajig, my DAW. So that's how I've got that. Four stomps, and then on the bottom row, if I switch to foot switch F, which is still the divided amp capture, I've got a TC Electronics, I think they call it the 229. It's a chorus basically, which is really nice. I hated chorus. I never used it. Hadn't used it for years, and I've just started using it quite a lot. There's a brilliant Dimension D, or is it? I never remember. Is it Dimension D or Dimension C? I don't know. Doesn't matter. But there's a great capture of that in here as well, and it's great for when you're using in ears. It's brilliant because you can really hear the stereo. You really feel it more so than if you've got 2 amps behind you. It really splits the sound. That's what I use that for. Button G is, as you can hear, the hiss is coming in. I've got the same amp with a Jan Ray, a Vemurum capture, Jan Ray pedal in front of it, just so I've got that kind of... and it's got a bit of delay on it, as you can hear. Quite a dark delay, which I will tap, you know. But it's nice when you put the spring on. Yeah, it's quite buzzy. Sorry, my headstock changed the patch. Put the reverb back on. And you know, you can back off your volume a bit, and it does clean up. It feels like I've got a Jan Ray set right here that I use in front of my amps all the time, and it's brilliant. So that's what I've got there. That's for button G. And then button H, which is something I don't use a lot of, has got the Fender Super Champ amp, which I've captured, which is the famous Paul Revere. It's up there, sat there. You can't see it, but it's right there. It's right there. It's got the Fender Super Champ sat there with... Yeah, I just captured it using a speaker box in the back there. You can't see, but it's behind all the guitars. I captured it into the quad, and this is a very 80s thing. So the other thing I must say is I've got one expression. The QC can take 2 expression pedals. So I have one set up for overall volume. So that is, I always have my volumes set after the gain, after the overdrive stuff, so I can fade in. And I can, rather than having the volume go before the amp, I want to have those sounds, those kind of 80s type of things where you've got the full overdrive going on and you can fade in the volume like that. And as you can hear, there's a little bit of delay on that. It's very quiet actually, but that's the Super Champ with actually a little bit of chorus mixed in as well, just for widening. Yeah, it's a very middly sound. Sounds quite middly on its own, but that's, that amp is, back in the early 80s, 70s and 80s, they were all the guys, Paul Jackson Jr., Lukather, I guess Lee Ritenour, Ray Parker Jr., from what I gather, they were all using Paul Revere modded deluxe reverbs, which I'd love to get one actually. I'd love to find one of those. And I know that Rivera are doing one that's like their own model, so I'd love to try one out. However, I don't really use amps out on gigs anymore, so it'd be great to have in the studio, but then I've got a Super Champ here and a deluxe reverb there. But they're all modded to be a certain thing to get that, you can hear it. You can hear that kind of sound. It's very middly, but it pokes through a mix. Now this is where the magic happens, right? So this thing takes 2 expression pedals. As I said, the volume is set up before all the gains. So I have the volume before, so I can bleed into the gain, bleed the gain sounds into the final mix, the final thing, and then, but it's set before the gains. No, sorry, set after the gains. Bell end I am. Set after the gains, but before the all the wet effects. So the delays come after it. Delay and reverb comes after it. Now I have here on expression pedal 2. If I switch back to the clean sound, I have this thing going on. So if I give you the sound, if I fade in expression pedal 2, I've got what they call their, I think it's called modulated reverb, which is like a little bit of a chorusy thing, and I've got a tape delay. So it just means that when I'm playing, I can sort of fade in. I get a little bit of a wobble on it. And it means that I can hit a chord. It means I can fade the chord in, fade the reverb in. So basically I'm sending the guitar signal to the reverb and delay. So it means that the tail of that will carry on even if I bring the level back on that. And I use it for, like, you know, you hear I'm bringing subtle, just tiny little bit of reverb just to give a bit of a spread. So if I do that, this is, I'm kind of almost doing a thing that you could do in your DAW, where you send a little bit of a guitar part to a reverb and then turn it off so that the reverb only affects one little element. It's great on lead sounds as well, actually. So if I sort of like, you can hear how much there is. You can kind of feed it in, and it just means you're getting more of a, you're not just getting a sound with a delay on it. You can sort of hit a high note and bleed it into a reverb, and then whilst that is still decaying, the reverb of that is still decaying, you can carry on playing some other stuff. So that's my setup for this. If anyone's got any questions about that, just drop me a line at Rob's Funk and Junk. Sorry for anyone who would be bored with that because they can't see it, but if you want to see it, it's going to be on YouTube in a minute. Just go and check on my YouTube. Go and check it out. My YouTube channel is called Rob Harris Guitar, I think, isn't it? Yeah, I think it is. Rob Harris Guitar. Oh, you find me. I'm there with my big bald head. But yes, so that's what's been going on. And let me just check if I've got any emails in the inbox. Oh, hang on a minute. Rob's Funk and Junk. There we go. Lawn Reed. I think that's it. Yeah, I've got no questions this week. Nothing. People are probably so blown away with Paul Turner's chat that there's no questions. Oh, and actually, I haven't done my Funk and Junk thing. I didn't do it last week because I forgot to do it with Paul, but okay, what's my, my funk? What I'm going to do, actually, is I'm going to have I think you can have a button on this website thing where you can press a thing and I'm going to have some kind of sound effect going funk, or, the sound of a wah-wah guitar, and then junk, which will be, I don't know, probably the sound of someone going to the toilet or something. I'll have to get my son involved in that because he's always on the toilet, bless him. But yes, so what's my funk for this week? My funk, which is the good thing, this is the thing, and if anyone's got their own funk and junk they'd like to send in, please do, because it's a bit of fun, isn't it? My funk for this week is the sun coming out. I really am happy about the sun coming out. Yeah, I can't wait to get on with the spring. Mind you, I'm saying that our house is going to be in chaos in about 2 weeks' time because we're having a new kitchen put in and it's going to be mental. A new plastering and all that stuff. So actually, this is going to become our makeshift kitchen because I've got a sink back there and some fridges. We call these the fridge too fars because that's where, at Christmas time, that's where we put all the wine and stuff, all the stocks of wine. Or if we get, lockdown again or Armageddon happens, we're going to stock that with as many cans of whatever we could have put in there, stuff. And my junk for this week is nasty drivers who get up your arse and flash you, and just so they can get one place in front of you. You lot can go and do one. I don't know about you, I don't know what anyone else does, but I tend to slow down, and then I know that probably is not the right thing to do. It's probably passive aggressive, but don't give a shit. Whatever. So next time anyone's up my backside, enjoy your life. Have a nice day. Anyway, I hope you're all good out there. I'm going to wind this up because I'm intrigued to see how this is going to work when I edit it all together. I've got a load of editing to do now. And please excuse my shitty playing, demoing my Quad Cortex. It's not a guitar lesson video, it's just me talking about sounds and stuff that I use on this thing. If anyone's got a Quad Cortex and they're interested in that little rig that I've set up, I'll bung it on as a preset on the cloud. You can play with yourself as to your heart's delight. I'm so childish. Anyway, have a great week, everybody. Much love to you all out there. Thanks for listening. And also, give us a review on the old Apple podcast. I don't know whether it makes any difference anyway. I don't know if it helps in any way. It's I think people are listening to this. An amount of people are listening, and I really appreciate you spending your time listening to it. And hopefully, next time I'm on, my beard will be a bit longer. Don't know how long to grow it. But take care. Have a great week, and I'll see you soon. Goodbye.